last time we had this event, of course, was in January of 2020. And just 2 months later, everything was shut down. So it's good to see so many faces in this place tonight. I knew there was a nice crowd because parking was impossible. Had to park on the street. It's good to see all of your faces as we celebrate the 94th birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Just want to say a couple of quick words about the MLK committee. What a fantastic committee, what a fantastic job they do with this event each and every year. If you missed it, we did a couple of Zoom events of this the last couple of years. So I hope you were able to watch a couple of those. But it's so special to be able to see all of your faces in this wonderful temple this evening. And congratulations to all of you young people that are here. You guys are achievers, and we believe in you. And we just love all the work and dedication that you put in every day to do good things. And we know that your futures are bright. If you haven't had an opportunity to go over to the King statue, make that something that you do very soon over on the campus of FDU University. It's a beautiful statue. We'll probably hear a little bit more about the statue this evening, but make sure that you take some time to go over and see the statue. What I'd like to do is give a round of applause to the MLK committee. We're definitely, there they are. Stand up, there they go. And of course, the Honorable Mrs. Theodora Lacey. It's always interesting when you have somebody in the crowd who knew the man that we're talking about today. She is our connection to Dr. King. She knew Dr. King. She knew Coretta Scott King. One day we had a full conversation about Mrs. King. So she knew her and she knew him very well. So we're honored here in Teaneck, New Jersey, to have somebody like Theodora Lacey live in our presence. Amen? All right, here's a little funny story, if you let me. So there once was a great archer, and he wanted to find a mentor. And when I say archer, archery, bow and arrow, the whole thing. And he was looking for a mentor. And he went around from town to town looking for a mentor. And then he walked into the forest and he looked at a tree and there was an arrow and it was stuck straight in the bullseye. And he said, wow, whoever shot that is a great archer. And he looked around at the other trees and he saw arrows and they were all in the bullseye, straight away in the bullseye. And he went around into the town and asked, who is this great archer? I want him to be my mentor because he's so great. And somebody in the town said, he's right over there. So he proceeds to go to the man and he looks at the man and he's feeble and kind of uneducated and not somebody that you would think was able to do it. But the man said, you are a great archer. I have seen your work everywhere. Teach me. And the man says, I just shoot the arrow and I go up and paint a target on the tree. Good evening. Democracy matters. It matters in so many ways. Voting rights, your ability to go to the polls. You make a difference. Every time you go to the polls, you are making a difference. 2022 should have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, democracy matters. And that is our theme tonight. Democracy matters. So let us start, as we always do. Dr. Warren, are we ready? If everybody could stand up. And lift every voice and sing. And welcome the Teaneck Community Chorus, directed by Stephen Bell. All right, Rabbi Serbu, thank you very much for having us in this wonderful temple. Sir?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Temple Emeth and to the Rabbi Louis J. Siegel Sanctuary here in Teaneck, New Jersey. I also welcome those of you watching on live stream, and I invite you to share your name and your location in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform so that others know they are a part of an online community this evening. And for those of you here in the sanctuary, I ask that you take a moment right now to make sure that your cell phone is silenced, because we have a lot of wonderful music, performances, speeches, tributes, and you don't want your phone to be the one that interrupts them this evening. This year, Temple Emeth is celebrating our 75th anniversary, and I am glad that this milestone year in the life of our congregation includes this festive and inspirational service. Tonight, our congregation is diverse. People from all different races and ethnic backgrounds, young and old, have come to pay tribute to the legacy of Dr. King. It is a sight that Dr. King hoped would become commonplace, and so I am honored that this gathering takes place this year within these walls. As part of our 75th anniversary celebration, we have a retrospective museum exhibit. As you're leaving later tonight, it's the last room on the right of our main hallway. I encourage you to take a moment to take a look at our archival photos. But most relevant to this gathering is not a photo, but a document. And that document is called the Temple Emeth Program for Racial Justice, passed by our congregation and Rabbi Siegel in 1963. And it will show, I believe, that Temple Emeth has been a leader in community relations and the work that Dr. King strove for even during his lifetime. But as you read that, you will see that many of the goals of that program from 1963 are still unmet. And that is why we gather on an occasion like this, to understand that the work continues, that people of all backgrounds and all faiths, all races, have to commit ourselves to continuing this sometimes difficult work. At this time, I would like to offer words of blessing. Please rise if you are able for the benediction. Eternal God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather together, and we thank you for each member of this congregation created in your image. To be created in the divine image is not just a gift, but also a responsibility. To be created in the divine image is to acknowledge the interconnectedness and cherish the uniqueness of our fellow human beings who are also so created. Oh God, we thank you for creating us with the capacity for passion. The Bible is filled with words of men and women whose passion was justice. Dr. King was fond of quoting one of them, the prophet Amos, who said, "Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream." Let us use our passions, no matter what they are, to challenge our own assumptions and build an inclusive society together. Oh God, we thank you for bestowing each of us with a talent. Dr. King fought against segregation and racism because he saw firsthand that America would not reach its promise until each of us, no matter what the color of our skin, had the chance to develop and share our talents. Let us now use our talents to improve ourselves, hone our curiosity, and work in service to others. This evening, we will recognize the talents of the young people who are receiving awards and scholarships. Tonight, we will honor the passion of my clergy colleague, the Reverend Dr. Michelle White. Let us take inspiration from them that we may work for freedom, that we may strive toward equality. Let us remember that Dr. King did more than dream. He studied and preached and taught and marched. His legacy is his passion for justice and his talent for bringing people together. We celebrate these same qualities in this holy space, and we thank you for the opportunity to sit together once again as brothers and sisters, praying that justice may roll down like waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Rabbi, for inviting us and allowing us to have this event inside of this temple. This is probably, I think, the third time that I can remember that we've been here, so we're certainly no stranger, but thank you once again for having us. Now I need to bring on a man who actually led us in many ways through the pandemic. I got to spend a lot of time with him right after this event in 2020. He took a very strong position and a lead role as the virus came to Teaneck. Outside of New York City, the next real stomping ground for the coronavirus was right here. As a matter of fact, I lived in the town, and my bosses told me don't go to Teaneck. I still came home. So I'd like to bring on our county executive, a man who has led us in many things, but did such an excellent job dealing with the virus and has brought us to this point where we can all be back together again. County Executive Jim Tedesco.
Thank you, Anthony, and good evening, everyone. Before I start my remarks, let me just take a minute. Today is about Dr. Martin Luther King, and the theme is Democracy Matters. Well, I can tell you democracy matters because in November, democracy got me reelected as the county executive. And this afternoon, I was at church in Hackensack at New Hope, and before I spoke, two young children got up, one from South Hackensack, one from Hackensack, and spoke about what they thought this day meant. And after they were finished, I got up to say my remarks, and I said how wonderful it was to be able to hear young people talking about what this day meant to them. Because the young people that are sitting here today in front of me, you're going to be the ones that carry forward. You're going to be the ones that make sure, and that one, you're gonna make sure that his dream continues. We're here today hoping that and helping that dream continue. But you're going to be standing here tomorrow. And so I encourage you, as you've done, and you're here to receive recognition for what you've done, I continue to urge you to continue that, to make this world a better place. You have the power to do that. And let me end with this. When Anthony said about voting, less than 50% of the people that were eligible to vote in Bergen County voted last year. Less than 50%. The rights that have been fought for all these years to be able to go freely and vote, really everyone needs to take a look. And I'm going to say that you were probably the 40% that voted. Because you care. Otherwise, you wouldn't be giving up a Monday night evening to be here in Temple to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. And we say celebrate, we celebrate what he did for us. And so I continue to urge all of you to talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your children about why it's so important to vote. One vote can make a difference. I'm honored to stand here by you today in remembrance of the incredible human being. If he were still alive, as we know, he would be celebrating his 94th birthday. But sadly, we lost him more than 50 years ago when his voice was silenced by the forces of hatred and evil. Yet, Dr. King's words live on today. And as we honor and remember him today, I hope we'll be inspired by his words to continue his life's work. The work of extending the promise of our founding documents to all Americans. In 1963, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, Dr. Martin Luther King gave one of his greatest speeches in our nation's history. Today, most people can recite its famous words, "I have a dream." But those 4 words aren't the sum total of Dr. King and the work he left for us to finish. Speaking in Montgomery in 1965, he called upon us when he said, "We must come to see that at the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience, and that will be a day not of the white man, not of the black man. That will be the day of man as man." He was reminding us that equality isn't the fight for one group of people. It is a fight for all of us. And in accepting the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize, Dr. King said, "I accept this award today with an abiding faith in America and its audacious faith in the future of mankind." Which is why, in the face of injustice and oppression, Dr. King held on to optimism and a belief in humanity. In 1968, at the National Cathedral in Washington, he said, "On some positions, cowardice asks the question, is it expedient? And then expedient comes along and asks the question, is it political? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? Conscience asks the question, is it right?" He was appealing to our better angels, giving us words that should guide us every day. Dr. King fought for all of us to share in the centuries-old promises of freedom and equality. His words teach us that working together with the optimism and faith in one another in the pursuit of what is right is the surest way to achieve those promises. So tonight, I hope we can all be inspired by his words and find ways together in our own communities, throughout Bergen County and New Jersey and this country, to create the world he was dreaming of so many years ago. I'm proud to stand here and represent the people of Bergen County, almost 1 million strong, because we are a community together. We are a county that cares about one another, that loves one another. We will continue Dr. King's dream. We will fight to keep his words, his challenges alive. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tedesco. And now it is my great honor to bring up the mayor of Teaneck, New Jersey, Michael Pagan. Michael. Thank
you. It is a pleasure to welcome you all here this evening. And thank you to the organizers of this event for putting together such a wonderful program. It is my honor to join you tonight as we pay tribute to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on this special day and discuss why democracy matters. Dr. King dedicated his life to fighting for civil rights and equality, and his work was rooted in the belief that every person has the right to participate in the democratic process, because democracy is more than just a form of government. It is a principle that ensures that every person has an equal say in the decisions that affect their lives. In a democracy, residents have the right to vote, to speak freely, and to hold their elected officials accountable. And this means that everyone, regardless of their race, gender, or economic status, has the opportunity to have their voice heard and to make a difference in their community. But democracy is not just about the rights of the individual. It is also about the responsibility of the collective. Because in a democracy, we have to work together towards the common good, even if it means compromising some of our own interests. And this is how we build a community and a society that truly values equality and justice for all. Dr. King knew that democracy was not a given, that it must be fought for and protected at all costs, and that our work must never stop if every person is going to truly have an equal opportunity to succeed. And that is what Martin Luther King Day is all about. Remembering the sacrifices of those who fought for democracy and recommitting ourselves to the work that still has to be done on the local level, the county level, the state level, and the national level. So let us honor Dr. King's legacy tonight by recommitting ourselves to the defense of democracy, because together we can honor Dr. King's legacy to defend democracy and to fight for civil rights and equality for all, because democracy matters. Thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoy the program tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are a host of elected officials that are in this room and clergy. We want you to know that we see you. We know you're here. Sheriff Kiernan sitting right there. I found out we share the same cleaners. Zane Hyder, Assemblywoman Hyder, Park, County Commission Chair Thomas Sullivan. You heard from the mayor, Daniel G., Deputy Mayor, Hillary Goldberg with the Teaneck Councilperson, Mary Ambrosia is here, Sebastian Rodriguez. You can all stand up if you're here, just so people know and see you. If you want to, please do. Sheriff, you can stand up. You can stay up, Sebastian. I got questions for you. Clara Williams, Denise, Klein. Javon, I saw Javon earlier too as I walked in. If I missed anybody, I apologize. They'll give me the name. I'll say it at some point during the evening. But thank you very much to all of you elected officials who are here today. We appreciate the fact that you're here.
Tracy Zer.
Tracy Zer. Did I say Tracy? Tracy, I'm sorry if I didn't say. It is on the list. I think I said Tracy. All right? But thank you to all of you. Thank you for all the work that you do to make our community just a better place. Ms. Park? Do we have a moment? Okay. To the rabbi? Yeah, okay.
Good evening. My name is Shama Haider. I'm the Assemblywoman from District 37, and this is my colleague,
Ellen Park. I'm Assemblywoman Ellen Park.
and we're here on behalf of District 37. We are honored to be here, and we bring with us a resolution from the joint legislative, from the Senate and Assembly, and it is our honor to present it to you, Rabbi, in honor of the day you are celebrating here at Temple Emeth.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. I think County Executive Jim Tedesco made a great point. Like, what does today mean to you, right? And I think today, coming here, driving here, I was thinking about the same thing. And what it means to me is always remember the past and always fight for the future. So thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King.
now it is time for the introduction of our speaker, Helen Arcantu. Helen has guided the YWCA Northern New Jersey to fully lead its intersectional mission to eliminate racism and empower women by advocating against oppression that many endure. She has overseen the development of a continuum of programs to support women and families, as well as to raise awareness and take action to end racial and social justice, advance gender equality, and to promote the rights of all women. Helen served as a state-appointed member of the New Jersey Task Force on Campus Sexual Assault and is co-chairperson of the New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking Legislative Committee and members of the Nonprofit Steering Committee for Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey. That's a lot to swallow right there, all right? In 2019, Helen received the Crime Victims' Rights Award from the New Jersey Office of the Attorney General and the Excellence Award of Victims' Justice. She's also named among the most powerful women in New Jersey by Senator Loretta Weinberg in 2019, 2020, and 2021 on the Women's Power List. In 2022, she was a finalist for the Aetna Award through the Monmouth County Regional Chamber of Commerce. Helen is an adjunct professor at Montclair State University since 2005 in the School of Social Work. Her love for her work in social justice is only topped by her love for her husband, thank you, and 9-year-old twins. So let's give a big introduction to our speaker, Helen Arcantu.
Good evening, everyone. As you heard, I'm Helen Arcantu. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. I'd like to thank the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Committee for inviting me to be part of this annual celebration, especially two women who are very near and dear to me, Miss Theodora Lacey and Miss Barbara Giarmo. They are both a guiding force for me and an inspiration in my work. I know they both know that, but I share it with all of you as well. I also want to thank all of you for being here, and for those of you that have joined from the live stream, including my 9-year-old twins and my husband and my mom and our dog. I know they're all hovering around the computer right now. It is humbling to look out at all of these faces and see so many hardworking community leaders that are tending to the work of Dr. King's dream every day through your service and through building collaborations with those who share the vision of eliminating racism. I personally have been attending this event for more than a decade, ever since I joined the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, and I've sat in those seats and I have listened to the words of folks like our then Attorney General Grubir Grewal, PR powerhouse Tara Dowdell, community organizer Anna Wong, just to name a few, whose words kind of stayed with me. I have always left this night uplifted and energized, and I've always left with a renewed clarity and commitment to continuing my part in moving our country to and justice for all. Birthday celebrations like this one present a significant opportunity for us to take time each year to reflect on the teachings of Dr. King and the work that we still need to do to reach the ideals of his dream. And as I saw posted today on the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Bergen Passaic Chapter's social media feed, today is not a day off, it is a day on. So let's talk about the realities of our present day. We are witnessing the rise in bias attacks and race-based hate crimes, which have been rising for the last 3 years, and an increase of bias incidents among our youth, fueled mostly by anti-Semitic and white supremacist groups. Racial equity still does not exist in any arena. The lives of members of our historically marginalized communities are at risk every day. I recently was introduced to a fellow mom from a neighboring town, She's the mom of a 9-year-old girl, same age as my twins. She was racially profiled because she was outside in front of her house trying to kill lanternflies. So the reality of our current day is that a black mom has to make a choice to make a teachable moment for her community, for the racists in her community, from her family's trauma. That's the reality of today. And I also want to thank her for coming tonight to be here to support me. And so this work is urgent. Bobby's life depends on it. Many lives depend on it. So who should we entrust to do this work? Do we leave it to moms like Monique? No. What I have learned is that it is all of our responsibilities. What I've been learning and what I continue to learn is that we all have a place in this revolution that we are in right now. No matter what our race, what our age, what our abilities, how we identify, our economies. I've also been learning that once you get engaged, if you continue to stay open, if you continue to listen, if you continue to learn, your role will evolve. And your ability to make an impact can actually deepen. So what I've learned as part of this revolution is an evolution, and each of us really has to commit to that individual journey for us to be able to change the collective. And so on my journey, I have the unique opportunity to lead an organization with the mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. So for those of you who don't know the history of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, we have been of service for 160 years nationally, and locally, our association that's here in New Jersey was established in 1920. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself wrote an article in the December 1960 edition of the YWCA magazine that can be found in YWCA's Smith College archives. It's entitled The Rising Tide of Racial Consciousness. His piece was adapted from an address he gave at a convening of the National Urban League at the height of the Civil Rights Movement. In it, he calls for bold and constructive action. And as I was reading it, I was thinking how that actually has been my mantra for my personal journey. It's been my mantra for my leadership at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. It's been the mantra of our team at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, and for all the programs and the plans that we have created for our organization and the community. If you've been following our organization at all, and I see some familiar faces, so I know some of you have been, if you've been following us over the last 12 years, you know that we ourselves have been going through a revolution at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. And that was really essential for us to truly live our mission. When your mission is to eliminate racism and empower women, you can't fake that. You can't fake it. And so we are not out in the community asking anyone to do what we as an organization are not doing ourselves. Our staff, our leadership, our team, we are all on a personal journey together to create a more just and equitable organization. Our dedicated work has created significant changes in how the organization operates, how we value our staff, how we support our community, how we develop our programs. Because you must remember, we are a system too. So that means that we do not escape the realities that most of our systems are built on a model of white supremacy. And it is an active and ongoing process that we must commit to change that. So today at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, our work is bold and constructive. We are focused on making culture change. To that end, voting is one of our most important priorities, as you heard today. Democracy matters. We know this is one of the ways to make the change that we want to see in the world. It is important to encourage and support citizens who truly represent the voices and needs of our communities so that they can run for office. And then it's important that we vote them into office too. We have to support them. We have to donate to these campaigns. We have to show up to their events. This will make a difference, as we're seeing, for sure. We know representation matters. We have a wonderful example of that right here in action here in Teaneck, where we recently saw sworn into the town council, History with Me. In March, we held a series of workshops through our Girls Empowerment Networking group to teach young women about the history of voting and the voting process. We also engaged hundreds of students at Montclair State University to register to vote on National Voter Registration Day, and we created a campaign to create safe spaces in New Jersey politics to help attract and keep women and women of color in office. We've been using our video blog, YWTV, to help educate our community on key issues that they need to keep in mind when they are in the voting booth. Our equity work has also been focused on reproductive rights, equal pay, and economic equity. Our Period Poverty Initiative, which launched this fall, allows us to support those within our community who lack adequate menstrual health supplies. Our YW We 360 Business Essential Program, Eureka, which is in its second year, assists women entrepreneurs, particularly women who are non-white, with launching their businesses by providing access to step-by-step courses, along with support from professional coaches, mentors, and an entire community of entrepreneurs. Our YW Tech program, which is getting ready to launch this February, is a free workforce development program for women with a focus on non-white women to help advance their digital skills and broaden their career options. Part of our evolution as an organization has been redirecting our racial justice initiatives to focus on individuals learning racial and cultural empathy and to train them on how to be system disruptors. We are educating folks on the history that was missing in their schooling. We are sharing the realities of systemic racism, and we are introducing them to various ways that they can be social justice warriors. Excuse me. Anyone can start a journey with us by taking our 21-day Racial Equity and Social Justice Challenge. You can do it alone, you can do it in groups. Over 3,000 people have taken it to date. It is easy to access via our website or our social media. We are also working to train system disruptors in key places where healing of racial trauma and development of our youth is happening. We are doing this in our Raising Race-Conscious Children initiative that teaches elementary school educators how to proactively and supportively talk about race in the classroom, and our race training, which teaches mental health professionals how to proactively and supportively talk about race in therapy sessions. So as I close today, I want to share one more piece of YWCA history with all of you. Dr. Dorothy Height, who worked alongside of Dr. King to bring progressive ideals of racial justice to reality, was the YWCA's first director of racial justice, not far from here, just over the bridge in Harlem. Her work with us was very focused on the intersection of race and gender. And we are still keeping that as a focus today for YWCA Northern New Jersey. At the YWCA, and I want to thank, we have so many of our team members here today, thank them for being with me. They are always with me. We are one, let me just say. Together, we demand a world of equity and human decency. We envision a world of opportunity. We commit ourselves to racial justice work. We will get up and we will continue to do the work until injustice is rooted out, until institutions are transformed, until the world sees women, girls, and people of color the way we do, equal, powerful, and unstoppable. And in the words of Dr. Height, if the times aren't right, you have to ripen the times. We are building a movement. So tonight, I will leave this celebration, as I have in years past, recommitting my place to the movement, and I hope that you join me, and that together we continue to bend the arc of history towards justice for all. Thank you all for being here tonight. God bless you.
Thank you, Helen. I did not know that the YWCA is doing so much work. Did you guys know that? All right. They are on the forefront for everybody, because when you help women, you're helping everybody. So it's a powerful statement by that organization to do so much work to help women in our community and our society. Continue your good work, and thank you so much for talking to us this evening. Now I'd like to bring on our violinist. We heard her a little bit earlier, I think. Is she's right there. You went hiding from me, Sandra. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on our violinist, Sandra Billingsley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The piece Charles and I decided to play, the first one, is called The Soul of Remembrance. And it's by American composer Mary Watkins, whose skin happens to be black. And we all know there'll come a time when she'll just be called an American composer. This is from 5 movements of color, an orchestral suite that she wrote back in 1960s, in the 1960s. I chose this movement, or we chose this movement, because it just happens this movement is to honor our mothers, our grandmothers, our ancestors, the women in our lives who stood by the movement, who endured, who bore, who faced all sorts of cruelty, unimaginable, but still kept their faith, kept their love in their hearts, and proceeded on, and just carried on and instilled it in their children, including Dr. Martin Luther King, right? The women in his life also carried on the movement after his death. This is Soul of Remembrance. Now, Miss Watkins, Mary Watkins, was once interviewed and asked why did she end this movement the way she does. And she said, our story is not over. Our story continues. Our work goes on. And you'll hear Soul of Remembrance by Mary Watkins.
time to get to the award section of the show. All right, let's hear it. Okay, that's good. We're going to start out with the Lee Reed Award, which is given annually in memory of Reverend Lee Reed, organizer of the first minister of the I'll get my words right tonight sometime. Okay, Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Palisades. She was also a valued member of our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Observance Committee. Recipients of the award are recognized for their service to the community and to reflect the teachings and vision of Dr. King. Dr. King said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." We thank you, Reverend Shelley, for not being silent. That was the best joke I told all night. That's what it says in the script. Reverend Michelle White learned early in her life the importance of advocacy and community service. Her grandmother wouldn't have it any other way. She began her training as a community organizer while studying biology and chemistry at the State University of New York at Stony Brook, where her work was centered in migrant communities. Following graduation, she began her career as an educator in Middle Island, New York. She pursued a Master's of Science and Reading Education from Fordham University while establishing local reading programs in Brooklyn. I thought you were 24 years old. While completing this work, she began her doctoral studies in urban education at Fordham University. Reverend White enjoyed a 30-year career as teacher and administrator. You told on yourself right there. After graduating from Union Seminary, she served in the Methodist Church in the Bronx, where she ministered to gang members and their families. Her work in the Episcopal Church began in Hoboken, continued to Ridgewood, and then finally called to Christ Episcopal Church here in Teaneck, New Jersey in September of 2012. You can give her a round of applause. Under Reverend Shelley's guidance and with her hard work and many volunteers, Faith, Love, and Hope Food Pantry at Christ Episcopal Church has served over 50,000 people since the beginning of the pandemic. But that takes a lot of hard work. Scouring for resources, Reverend Shelley hit the ground running, working and collaborating with parishioners, retailers, the county, and other houses of worship in order to ensure no child went hungry. Her work in the community has led to a partnership with local synagogues in order to feed the community as well as bring light to racial and social justice issues. She works with Congregation Beth Shalom and her Christ Church Paris, creating a forum to educate and inform others about racial justice issues. Reverend Shelley is also the co-chair for the Racial Justice Committee of the Episcopal Diocese of Newark. When asked what is next, Reverend Shelley has set her sights on establishing reading programs for underserved and at-risk children, addressing the needs of LGBTQ+ youth, and bringing hope to the children of the incarcerated. Through all of this, Reverend Shelley's guiding force and true love outside God and service is her family. She's a proud mom of 2 children, Ashley and Church, and a devoted and loving spouse to her heart, Anne Marie. We are so proud to present the 2023 Lee Reed Award to Reverend Michelle D. White. We call her Reverend Shelley, and she's never silent.
Grace and peace, everyone. Grace and peace. It is my privilege. I am not the Reverend Shelley. I'm the Reverend humbled and amazed to be in the presence of thousands of years of loving commitment and service in God's world. I am absolutely humbled. I certainly give honor to Miss Theodora Lacey, and if Miss Lacey tells you to show up somewhere, you do exactly as Miss Lacey said. So to Miss Lacey and to the committee, thank you so very much for this incredible, incredible honor. I know about Miss Lacey, I know about her genetics, because she's from the state where my father came from. And special kind of folks come from Alabama. Special kind of folks come from Alabama. Come on, that's right, special folks. And I also have to honor the elected officials, our new mayor, certainly, and yes, our new mayor. And a few of the folks that I know here. You heard about Jim Tedesco. I know about Jim Tedesco because he unpacked food boxes at Christ Episcopal Church with Tracy Zor. And I have pictures. I have pictures of the sheriff and the sheriff's team coming and delivering food and gifts and all kinds of stuff. But I want to tell you young people, that democracy is limping right about now. It's limping right about now. And the only reason I'm standing here is because democracy has failed some people. When the pandemic started, folks were starving. And you need to know you're not poor because you're lazy. You're not poor because you refuse to go to school and use the resources available to you. You're not poor because you want to be poor. You are poor because systems have created the conditions for poverty. You need to know that you are not poor because you want to be. You are poor because there are systems, there is legislation that causes this to be true. And you're smart young people, you're real smart. And you can do the research and understand that this legislated poverty reaches as far back as English common law. So this is not an accident. But I want to tell you about some of the things I've learned. My wife and I and our family came here 10 years ago. I'm an Episcopal priest. I live in a community, a strictly defined community. I talk to other Episcopalians. I worship with other Episcopalians. I serve with other Episcopalians. But the pandemic has told me that your community is a lot larger. It better get bigger. The community got larger to include Jews. I never expected that to happen. It's funny, it's called miracles, and you need to believe in miracles, because they do happen. So here we are, this proscribed community that starts to understand that, well, maybe Jews are also part of my community. And so, not only did Jews enter the community, the county entered the community. I come from a place in Brooklyn where if the police showed up, it's not a good thing. But when the sheriff, my brother, shows up with all of his team, it's a real good thing. It's a real good thing. So I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. So the community has grown. It has grown. You need to know, young people, that you have gifts and abilities. And Martin said, you know what, you're extraordinary. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. And so your job is to serve. Your primary goal is not to get to a good college so you can make buku money, because you know what? Most of it has already been made, honey. And if you're not going billions, you may as well just sit down and keep doing the work. You hear what I'm saying? So you have got to understand, I have gifts and abilities that have to be used. You have heard the word responsibility. You have a responsibility to people who are not being served. Don't take the myopic view. My people. I have learned in my time in Teaneck that my people embraces a whole lot of people. So we started serving. And Christ Episcopal Church is a tiny little church, a tiny little worship community of about 100 people, maybe on a good day, 100 people. And this community has said, well, let's use what we've got in order to get something done. Because somebody's kid is on the other end of that soup can. Let me tell you what I've learned from my Jewish brothers and sisters. Rabbi, have mercy on me. There's a concept called tzedakah, correct? You don't know where the gift is coming from. You don't know who benefits from the gift, but the entire community, the entire environment is blessed. So when you come with that one can, I'm not real smart. I got a big mouth, and here's my next lesson for you. Use your mouth. Do you understand? Say something. If somebody is being oppressed, you stand up and say something. Will it cost you your life? Most likely not. It could, but that doesn't matter, because otherwise you don't have a life unless you stand up for someone else. Our food pantry sees a whole lot of little kids who have to believe somebody cares about me. This community cares about me. And you may be the only person who steps in to save that kid's life by just simply saying, have a good morning, baby. Here's something that you might like. You want one of those sugar-filled cereals? We got a box of that for you. But we have to say something. We have to do something. So I would say to you also, when you understand community, understand that the community is not only the community that everybody is happy that you belong to, you have to live into your authentic selves. I am a gay woman, I am married, I am black, I am old. I belong to a whole lot of communities. Do you see that? And you have to stand up on behalf of people. You have to, if there's a trans person or a gay person who is being abused, you have to stand up and say something. You have to stand up and say something. We are light in this world. We are hope in this world. We are reconciliation in this world. It was a setup. God set me up. I never intended to be in charge of a food pantry. I never expected to be serving with Jews. I never expected that I would be part of Congregation Beit Shalom. I never expected that. But God has plans for you. God has plans for you. And I'm saying to you, whether you were Jewish or Christian, whether you're Hindu, I don't care. Whether you're Sikh, I don't care. The only thing that matters is your compassion. The system is broken. The system is broken. Study everything that you can. Learn as much as you can. Be as engaged as you can. Community service doesn't just check a box. Community service means that I am part of you and you are part of me. Last lesson. So this old teacher can sit down and shut up. Got it? Last lesson. There's such a thing as sympathy. Ooh, that's too bad, honey. She fell. Ooh, that's too bad. Right? You got that? There's empathy. Ooh, that must have hurt. I'm feeling that too. But there's something called interpathy. Means I am in this with you. We are in this together. There is no getting away from it. If our environment fails, we are in this together. If California burns, we are in this together. You have been given authority. You have been given gifts, intellectual gifts. But more than that, it's your emotional gifts that are going to make a difference. I am incredibly proud of you. Yeah, democracy matters. And it's going to matter even more once you get involved. Get involved and stay involved. If it's wrong, open your mouth. Lift your voice up. Shout. Stand up on behalf of someone who's being oppressed. Because you know what the food pantry has taught me? I could be on that line as well. My members are here. Our volunteers are here, and I'm going to ask them to stand up. Because you need to know they don't all look like me. My family is here. Would you all stand up, please, so folks can see who you are? They don't look like me. They may not worship like me. They may not eat what I eat. They may cover their heads and I don't. This is my community. God bless you and keep you all. Do it, young people. Do it.
Thank you very much, Reverend Shelley. You left your award up here. Come on back and get it.
This is hers also.
And I understand this is also for you. Madam?
Thank you very much, everybody. Keep working. Keep working.
Now, I think in the crowd, my buddy Bill White stood up, right? That's Bill. Where's Bill? There he goes. So, I don't know if we've done it the last couple of years, but they had me cooking fried turkeys over in Patterson a couple of years ago. And we had a good time. We had a great time. And just getting an opportunity to see all the faces of all the people that came in to enjoy a meal on that Thanksgiving. You know, when we look at people, the poor, the homeless, that's really not them. That's us. We should look at them as not some group of people we should ignore, push to the side. Remember, that is a reflection of who we are as a society. And the bad news is, we're not doing well. I was in California last year, and I don't know if any of you have been to California lately. Have you been to San Francisco, Los Angeles, or San Diego? The homeless problem out there is downright abysmal. It is somewhat terrifying. And I only say that not because of them. I say that because trends start in California quite often, but they eventually get to us. And if you saw the lines, streets covered with tents of homeless people, and every one of your faces is represented in that group, you would know that this is a problem that needs to be dealt with love and compassion, as you said. And I had a friend recently tell me, well, the reason we don't deal with the homeless problem is because there's no profit in it. What does that say about us? What does that say about us? That we don't have we have the capacity, but not the compassion to deal with this issue. So Reverend Shelley, all the work that you have done, not only during the pandemic, you were doing this work before the pandemic. So thank you so much. Thank you for your inspiring words. I've been to your church, not a silent moment in that place. So thank you so much. We love you, and thank you for that message. Thank you. Time for our candle lighting now. Shelley Wong, Quan G, and Marion McClary, members of the MLK committee, please come forward. That's right, give them a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I light the candle to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Almost. Okay, it's a child safety on it.
There's a back, no one right
There we go. We light the candle to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And in the words of my personal hero, Fannie Lou Hamer, never forget where we come from and always praise the bridges that carried us over.
It's kind of tough to follow Reverend Shelley on the program, but I'll see what I can do here. All right, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched so diverse communities such as Teaneck could arise. A democracy truly thrives on diversity, and we must not let anything oppress it. We all deserve this circle of inclusion and unity, but it's up to us to continue creating it.
The rabbi mentioned this quote of Dr. King's earlier, but I'm not going to change it. I'm going to use the same one. As Dr. King once said, we are determined here in Montgomery to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. It was true then and it's true now that democracy matters. When there is no justice, there must be democracy, and that's why democracy matters.
If democracy didn't matter, why is it that every country on the face of this planet fights for democracy? We got something special in this country, but we could also lose it. You have to pay close attention to it. So let everybody say, all in unison, democracy matters. Democracy matters. Thank you. Now it is time for our appeal. Jackie McLeod from the MLK Birthday Committee.
Get your checkbooks out.
Do me a favor, everybody in this pew, the pews, can you shift 6 inches to, I guess, your right? 6 inches to the right. 6 inches, just shift. Just shift 6 inches in your seat, if you can. All right? 6 inches over here, too. You guys look over here. All right? So if you shifted now, shift back the other way, the other 6 inches. So you've just cleaned off 80% of the dust on the pews, and we'd like to thank you. So if we could all do that in community, let us all come together in community to help the cause. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for joining the Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday celebration this evening. This is the 55th year that we have gathered to honor Dr. King's birthday. Can the ushers come forward, please, as you get out your checkbooks and your cash, so that, because my purpose here is to encourage you to donate, to contribute tonight, so that we can continue with this program. Now, each year, this program brings the community together as a demonstration that we will not give up on the struggle for justice and equality. Now, as the ushers come forward, please make a generous donation by check, cash, or you can go online. Online, for those who are joining us by Zoom, you can go to the Martin Luther King Jr. King's Jr. Birthday Committee.com, or you can look, for those who are here, it's here on the inside flap of your program. For those of you who are joining us on Zoom, you can send a check to the Martin Luther King Birthday Committee, Post Office Box 2017, Teaneck, New Jersey 07666. Now, your generosity enables organizations that are doing the hands-on work in the community, such as the Family Promise of Bergen County to provide shelter and support for working families,
the Center for Food Action so that families will not go hungry. They will have healthy food on their tables. The Northern New Jersey Sanctuary Coalition provides support and housing for political asylum seekers. And the YWCA for Hope and Safety provides support for women, children victimized by domestic violence. And you've heard from Helen this evening of all the work that they do. We donate to them, so part of your contribution today will go to the YWCA. Your donations also support student scholarships for future leaders and the maintenance of the Martin Luther King Jr. Monument on the campus of Fairleigh Dickinson University in Hackensack. Now, recently, we were able to assist the Fairleigh Dickinson University Black engineering students to attend the National Society of Black Engineers conference in New York State. Now, Dr. King gave us a blueprint for what it means to advocate for justice and to believe in equality. Dr. King's words continue to move us today. However, Dr. King called for actions. So as we sit here this evening, let us ask each other, what are we going to do? What action are we going to take? Community by community, we can make a difference. So please be generous, because what action you take can make a difference. Please be generous. Thank you for your generosity.
Beautiful. Thank you, Charles. Beautiful. We're going to play for you Levee Dance, by American composer Clarence Cameron White. We all know about the levees and how important they are because big one failed during Katrina. Well, Clarence Cameron White was born in 1880 and was a classical violinist. Back at that time, he graduated from Oberlin Conservatory in the early 1900s, and he was also a founder of the National Association of Negro Musicians, which is viable and very active even today. Here's the Levee Dance. He used all his themes from the dances from the Afro-American community in his music. Hope you like this one.
Something about money. You're very good at it. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Dr. Warren, Sandra Billingsley. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. I love the sound of the violin. Tried to learn how to play the piano. That didn't work. Loved the violin. Wouldn't even try that. So thank you so much. That was beautiful music. And we're going to continue with beautiful music as we bring back the Teaneck Community Chorus. Equality is in the air we breathe. Directed by Stephen Bell.
Good evening, everyone. While they're getting set, let me just tell you what we're going to be doing. We are singing a song called Equality is in the Air We Breathe. The music is by Gwyneth Walker, but the text is by Langston Hughes. It's taken from a poem of his called Let America Be America Again. And I would just like to read a couple of those lines. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be the land where everyone is free. And if you like what you hear, we have a concert next Sunday at 3 o'clock at Teaneck High School. This concert is dedicated to women's rights. It's called You Don't Own Me, Singing for Equality. 3 o'clock next Sunday, Teaneck High School.
Equality is in the air we breathe.
My brother and sister, walk this earth with me in dignity.
Our land must be the land where every man and woman is free.
Let America be the dream it used to be.
In the air we breathe.
On the earth we walk.
Through the lives we lead.
Equality.
Let it be the pioneer on the plains.
you, Teaneck Community Chorus. They are just amazing. The choir is amazing. Thank you, Stephen Bell. All right, young people, you've waited patiently. Thank you very much. It is now your time for the Student Awards. Annette McCack of the MLK Birthday Committee. We're going to start the process of giving out the awards. Be patient. I know your parents are here. They probably want to take a lot of pictures. That's good. So we're going to have an opportunity to do all of that, but congratulations to each and every one of you.
Hello, everybody, and I am so very, very glad to be here to honor all of you students. Everybody has been saying how important it is that our next generation coming up continues the work. And these 24 students, most of whom are here with us this evening, were nominated by their schools based on their achievements, not only in their academic work, but also in the community and in their school with their peers. And so we are very, very pleased to present these certificates of merit and some scholarships. And I would urge you to please read the short biographies of each of our students in our program. It is very impressive. I have hope. We should all have hope. As I call up your names, I would ask you to please come in the center and start lining up over here, and you will be getting your certificates. At the end, I will call on your parents and any politicians who might want to join to come up, and we can take more pictures. Okay? So I am going to call you up, and come on there. Come on up, brother. Luna Almeida from Cliffside Park High School. Isabella Balestrieri from Paramus High School. Gabriel Biedelman, Bergen Catholic High School. Raghav Bharatran from Rutherford High School. I asked, they have to line up here. Eamon Block, New Milford High School. Zev Dewan from Ramsey High School. Kayla Fitzsimmons, North Arlington High School. Ashley Greco from Teaneck High School, from Waldwick High School rather. Miss Nia Johnson from Teaneck High School. Hara Kiriako from Northern Valley Regional High School at Demarest. Grace Lasoy from Wallington High School. Shay McDonald, Leonia High School. James Ntiamwa from Dumont High School. Seo Jin Park, Presskill High School. Alondra Molina Pascual from Hackensack High School. Nicholas Soretis, Emerson High School. Karina Shah, Pascack Valley High School. Jia Shin, Tenafly High School. Massimo Spina, Woodridge High School. Ala Suleiman, Bergen Technical High School of Paramus. Frederic Vasquez, Bergenfield High School. And Alexa Weber from Mawa High School. So, All these young people, you are amazing. Everybody. Politicians such as who are still among us, come on up if you so choose. Remember, all these students have worked so very hard. They're all excellent academically and in their work in the community.
Once again, evidence of hope for the future. Congratulations. Democracy matters. Let's say it again. Democracy matters. We want to thank all the folks, of course, that have been out on the tables outside in the hallways, taking care of all the important business. Thank you, everybody that's been a volunteer that has helped out this evening. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of the young people. We just got word that there are too many cars in the parking lot. So, if you can move your car, we would appreciate it. It's a safety issue, I'm sure. And we don't have much longer to go, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll be out of here very, very shortly. There are refreshments after this is over with, so don't run out. So Jeanette, Curtis, Radu, come on up. We can go ahead and get the scholarships done so folks don't run out on us. All right? Good to see you too. Thank you.
Well, I'm here for the fun part of this activity. As Annette said, we had 24 students to have their names submitted by their high schools as awardees of our Youth Accomplishment Award. One of the things that was also allowed of each of these students was an opportunity to write an essay. And if they chose to write an essay, there was an opportunity to possibly win a scholarship. Of the 24 students that, whose applications we received from their schools, indicating that they were students of recognition, 16 of the students submitted essays. So I had the fun task with my other members on the scholarship committee to read 16 fabulous essays. And I have to say that we have a bunch of very, very impressive young people sitting in front of us, and I feel that we in Bergen County are doing very well, presenting the quality of students that have been presented as we read their essays. And the topic that we chose for our young people was the importance of the vote. And as I said, we had some very impressive, very thoughtful essays submitted, and from the submitted essays, we will be awarding 4 scholarships. Each scholarship is for $1,000. Our first awardee of our scholarship goes to Jia Shen, and she's receiving, she will be receiving the Charles Warren Scholarship, Dr. Charles Warren, our Honorable Dr. Charles Warren, who, okay, I have your certificate here. I just wanted to say about Dr. Warren. Not only does he serve on the Martin Luther King Birthday Committee and has been with us for a long time, he's a musician extraordinary, our own icon in TNAC, and we're giving Gia this award because of her musical prowess. Thank you. Okay, the next award goes to Ashley Greco. It's $1,000. And we're giving Ashley the Barbara Landberg Scholarship. And Barbara is a past member of our Martin Luther King Committee, and she is a long-standing member. We recently lost her to California, so she moved to the sun. But she's still very committed to the work of the MLK Committee, and we felt that Ashley's personality and things on her resume, along with her essay, qualified her for the Barbara Landberg Award. The next award goes to Mr. Frederick Vasquez. It's the MLK Award. Not only is this young man living and trying to live to some of the expectations of Dr. King, he even took the time to start a MLK program at his high school, and we would like to thank you for that. And our last award goes to Karina Shah. Karina. And Karina gets an MLK award as well for $1,000. Thank you for your participation. And as I was saying, choosing these people, these young people, was very hard. They were tremendous essays, a lot of thought-provoking work went in it, and it was very hard for this committee. It took us a couple of days, so it was not easy, and thank you for participating.
I'm sure there's some parents that want to take some pictures. take this moment to do so. Congratulations, winners. Let's give them a big round of applause. So Barbara, Mrs. Lacey, any cleanup work I need to do here? Anything? See, they tell me what to do and I listen. So hold on. Told me to wrap it up. Thank you very much for coming out here. Once again, it is so good to see all of your faces back together again. Let's not do that last couple of years thing again, ever, if we can. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for coming out here tonight. Thank you to the committee once again. Pastor White, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank Temple Emeth. Reverend, where are you? There you go. I go and tell my friends that I've, stood in front of a Jewish temple, and they all look at me like, and I'm like, yeah, Teaneck, we're a community. We all get together and we go to different places, sometimes churches, sometimes temples. I said, that's what this community is really all about. That's what makes this place really special. Teaneck is like a star on the map for the United States. It is. It truly is. Don't forget, democracy matters. All right? I'm sure we'll start to see some campaign materials. What is this year? This is the legislature, right? It's important. It's important to pay attention, to know who serves you down in Trenton, to pay attention to their issues and what they think is important. I recently had a conversation with the man who ran for governor in the state of New Jersey in the last election. He talked to me about CRT. I told him it was CRS. And we had a very interesting discussion about the whole topic. So, democracy matters, truth matters, and a community like Teaneck, New Jersey is a shining example. And having you here tonight is part of that shining example. So thank you everybody for coming out. We'll be happy to accept one of Teaneck's. I gotta show this because Mrs. Lacey did want me to do this. This beautiful piece from Benjamin Franklin Middle School, where I went to middle school. Celebration of Service Honoree, January 2023, the MLK Birthday Committee. Look at this beautiful piece that they did. All right, don't forget, we do have a little reception coming up. We're gonna have our benediction now from Reverend Dr. John O. Page, pastor, Mount Olive Baptist Church in Hackensack. Thank you very much.
Good evening. What a pleasure and privilege it is to be here this evening to give the benediction. A benediction is simply a blessing. I'm going to ask that everybody would please stand And let us bow our heads. As the King Center in Atlanta, Georgia, their theme this year is cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. God, we thank you for what our eyes have seen, what our ears have heard. We thank you for the messages, for the students and their work, for the theme that democracy matters. We thank you that we're able to gather this day and remember and celebrate the work and the legacy of your own Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and all those who worked alongside with him. We thank you for the work that continues today. We realize, Lord, that we live in a time where truth really doesn't matter, it seems. We live in an era in a world where just last year, there was an attack on our capital. We're living in weird times, but you have been consistent even in times like these. You've been consistent in raising up men, women, and young people in order to fight the good fight. Thank you that the fight continues on, that even when people get tired, when people retire and they pass away, that other people are able to take up the mantle. And so until we've reached that common goal where equality exists for all people in this nation, we ask that you will continue to inspire, continue to grant creativity, and continue to grant us a community of love that will be transformative in all ways. As we depart from here, but never your presence, we ask that you will go with us, that you will walk alongside with us until we meet again. As we depart, both individually and collectively, we pray that we will be who we're called to be in any and all ways, that we will seek justice, resist evil, stand against those wiles, and we will stand and use our voice. We will move our feet, extend our hands, and because it just might hold on to the long arc of history, like our lives depend on it, and let us pull with as little or much strength that we have, so that together we might help to continue bend it in the direction of justice, peace, and hope. Promise, so that this country, this world, can be better for us and our children. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
As we sing, we shall overcome. Why don't you all join hands together across the aisle? We'll sing, we shall overcome. We'll walk hand in hand. We shall live in peace. And I'm going to add, we will vote for justice. Okay. We shall overcome.
you, Dr. Warren, Sandra Billingsley. Thank you very much. Get home safely, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope to see you next year.